Welcome. In this demonstration video, you'll learn how to prepare your documents for filing a response to a small claims complaint in New Hampshire and e-file them. Once you've logged in, make sure you've selected New Hampshire as your main jurisdiction, and then begin the small claims application by clicking Start Now. Select where you want to file, then the location, and then click Next. You'll want to indicate that you're filing into an existing case and then provide the case number. Click Next, and TurboCourt will confirm that that case number exists within the New Hampshire system. If it finds that case, it will display it below, and you can then click on that. This will now take you into the interactive interview for you to prepare your documents. Focus on the center of the screen and follow the prompts. Click Next, and at first you'll indicate who is filing. Find your name in the list of parties and select it. If for some reason you're not in this list, indicate that you're not on the list, click Next, and begin to answer the questions to indicate that you want to add yourself as a new case participant. At this time, attorneys cannot e-file through the system, but others can, and so you'll want to indicate what your role is. Click Next. Indicate the appropriate category and then fill out the required information. If you indicate you're a business, additional fields will be required. And assuming that you are in the list, go ahead and select your name and click Next. Indicate the documents you want to prepare, in this case filing a response, and click Next. Here you're shown the email address that's on file for you. If you need to update that, you can check the box and then provide your corrected email address. Likewise, if your residence and business address is different than your mailing address, you have the option of providing that here, as well as updating your mailing address that was on file. Click Next. Confirm whether you're an individual or a sole proprietorship. Provide your date of birth. That information will be kept confidential. And then indicate whether you're self-represented or if you're somebody else filing on behalf of the defendant. If you're someone else filing on behalf of the defendant, you'll be asked to provide your information as well as answer some questions so the system can generate the Rule 1.3d statement for you. We'll just say we're self-represented. Now indicate what type of response you're filing. You can request a court hearing. You can indicate that you're not disputing the claim and that you will pay it. You can request a jury trial in the Superior Court. That's available if your claim is over $1,500 or if it involves a title to real estate. Or you can indicate that you filed bankruptcy and this particular debt has been included in that filing. Once you've made your selection, click Next. Keep in mind that every single time you click Next, it automatically saves your data in the TurboCourt account. Now indicate whether or not you agree that you owe the money to the plaintiff, and if so, how much you agree you owe. Provide an explanation for the amount owed, and anytime you are given the opportunity to type in an explanation, you have the opportunity to indicate whether confidential information is included, and if so, go ahead and check that box. There's two types of confidential information you'll need to be aware of: dates of birth, account numbers, social security numbers, other types of numbers all fall under the Rule 12c confidential information. If those need to be included in your explanation, go ahead and include them in this second box. The upper box can be the rest of the information of your explanation. If there's no numbers, but you still want to keep this information confidential, then go ahead and check this second box. You'll then need to attach a motion to seal, asking the court to seal this document because it contains confidential information, and the court will then rule on that motion whether or not to grant the sealing of that document. Otherwise, you can simply leave this box unchecked and then simply provide the explanation for the amount owed. Click Next. Indicate whether the other party had filed a petition to attach, and if they have, indicate whether you object or not to that petition to attach. Click Next. Indicate whether or not you want to file a counterclaim. If you indicate yes, you'll then have the opportunity to say how much you're countersuing for in terms of a dollar amount. And lastly, all of the other parties in the case to whom documents will need to be served. You'll need to have at least one box checked. By default, they'll all be checked. Clicking Next allows you to then indicate how each of these parties will receive their documents. If there is an email on file for them, they can be electronically served through e-service, and simply for each defendant or plaintiff, select the appropriate email address. If for some reason the email address is not there, you can indicate whether or not you want to serve them by US mail or hand delivery. That's also an option even if their email was there. Once you've made your selection, click Next, and you're done. Click Next one more time. TurboCourt will look at all of your responses and generate the documents for you. And there you go. You now have a unique TurboCourt form set number, and its current status is completed. In this particular filing scenario, there were no filing fees required. And as we scroll down, we can look at the documents that have been generated, the response to the small claim, the confidential information sheet that includes your date of birth, change of address notification because I had actually changed the address that was on file, and then an instruction sheet what to expect after you file your response that you should read as well. And if we look at one of these documents, for example the response, you will see that it is the official court document nicely filled out for you. If you need to attach any documents, either those that are required based on your responses or additional documents you'd like to attach, you can do so here. Most of the time you need to attach a PDF document. If the file that you happen to have is, for example, a Word document and you need to convert it, you can use these links to do that here. And then once you're ready to attach, click the Attach link, indicate the type of document that you're attaching, or rather the category, and then within that category, the type of motion, for example. Give it a title or description. And then click Choose File to find that document on your computer to attach it. You can also indicate whether or not you've removed any confidential information that falls under 12C, or you can request that this document be kept confidential. In which case, you'll need to attach another motion requesting that it be kept confidential, that is sealed. At that point, you can click Save, and your document will be attached. Once you're ready, click Next. Step 2, your email preferences. This shows your default email setting for when you first registered. If you want to override that for this particular filing and indicate that, in fact, you do want to receive email notifications regarding the status of this filing, you can change that setting for this filing. You can also add additional email addresses here to send that same type of courtesy notification to others, for perhaps a co-defendant, a friend, whomever that might be, and they'll also get status updates as to what's going on with this filing. Once you're ready, click Next one more time. Check the box that indicates that you've read the user agreement and you agreed to it. Indicate your name for your digital signature, and then click E-File. And now your documents have been automatically sent to the court. You'll notice that it went from a completed status to filing pending. And now if you click on the Messages tab, once the court processes your filing and messages are sent back to you, you can see those messages here. Of course, if you decided to receive email notification, you can see them there as well. And the e-service tab, again, once the court has processed, you can then see the e-service status of those people that receive their documents through their email address and whether or not they've been looking at them. And so that is how you will prepare your documents for a response to a small claims complaint in New Hampshire. And in the few moments that I've taken to explain those last bits, it went from pending filing to delivered. And so now it's actually at the court, and you're simply waiting for them to process your filing.